Do you have absolutely no idea how to curate a good Instagram feed? Does your feed look like a literal fleet of garbage trucks? Whoa, slow down there, Tiger. Before you flee the country to start a new life elsewhere, let me tell you how to create a killer Instagram feed. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Zach, and if you're new to the channel, learn all the secrets of the e-commerce world simply by subscribing to my channel and hitting that little bell icon so you don't miss anything. And in this video, I'm going over a very highly requested topic, and I highly recommend that you watch this video in its entirety because it's going to be extremely pivotal in your growing process of your online social media presence. When you have an e-commerce store, having a social media presence is ridiculously important, largely because of the fact, well, two main reasons. First of all, great organic reach. If you get a good following, it's entirely free organic reach. You get free sales. That's the point I'm at one of my stores, and it's absolutely fantastic. But also, too, it establishes more of a brand identity for your store. You're not just a random store on the internet. No, you've got this backlog of content, and it shows really what your brand stands for and all that you offer. So in this video, I'm going over the 5 main things that you really need to focus on. It's kind of like a step-by-step thing to really grow a good social media presence. Now, this is mostly in terms of Instagram, but you can also post these on Facebook or Pinterest, wherever you're at. But largely right now is Instagram, and that's what I found is the most beneficial to me. So that may be what you want to put your effort into, although it definitely helps to spread it all across because it's not that good to put all your faith into one single social media website. So what are we doing here? Well, basically, I have these 4 accounts pulled up right now, and I'm going to just show you some examples of why I absolutely love these accounts and their feeds, and I'm just going to say how exactly they went about doing these 5 things that I'm going to talk about. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first of all, you need to identify your target audience, and this is something that I talk about pretty much in like every video where I talk about starting a new venture, and that you need to know who you're selling to first before you take any further steps, because this really determines how you are actually going to lay out the content for your social media or your website or however you're presenting the information that you're giving out. It's ridiculously important, so you need to think about who your target audience is going to be, right? If you're selling something and it's primarily 40-year-old women that are buying it, you're not going to want to market it like you're marketing to teenagers, use a bunch of slang and emojis and everything. They're going to respond to some things a little bit differently. So this is why it really helps to know who you're going to be selling to, okay? So we'll just go through these 4 and I'll show you. So Alex and Ani, here are the 4 I have pulled up. Alex and Ani, this Lulu gem store which I found, backpacks.com, and Movement Watches. I just felt that was a good little variety. So let's go ahead and look. So Alex and Ani, what is their target audience? Well, it's about women aged 20 to 30, maybe up to 40. They like cutesy things. They just like these little details. They like going out living their life, right? And let's just go ahead and scroll through their feed and look how they do that. I mean, look at this. Every piece of content is promoted in kind of like a cutesy, artsy way. They've especially got these pictures right here, like it's a mom and their child. This is just like a single lady dancing on her bed, which is kind of bizarre. But look, it also says listen up grads. So there we go. They're catering some of the content to like 22-year-old college kids. So they definitely know that's a big part of their demographic, right? The way they lay out their feed is awesome, and I'm going to go over it more later on in the video. Lulu Gem is very similar with their audience. Not much else to say right there. Backpacks.com is definitely for more like the 20, maybe up to 30-year-olds. They really like to kind of push the adventuring aspect of things, so that's the way they do their marketing. And then Movement Watches is pretty much the same thing as Backpacks.com. They like people that kind of go out and they're adventurous, and that's actually why they've gone ahead and gotten influencers within that like adventurous kind of realm. But these businesses definitely know what their target audience is, and they've been able to really hone in their content and their content creation around what their target audience really enjoys, and this has allowed them to really grow a good social media presence and establish a very nice backlog of content. Okay, number 2, and this kind of ties into number 1, but basically what you're going to be doing once you know what kind of target audience you're going to be targeting to, basically all you have to do is look at competitors within your niche and see what they're putting putting out and see what people are reacting to best, right? Because you don't have to be a pioneer with creating content. If there's already people that are very similar to you that are creating content that works, it only makes sense to use that as inspiration for growing yours, so then you don't have to kind of test and see what works and what doesn't. Now, of course, there's still going to be testing done, but it's not going to be to the extent of if you were to just start fresh and not even look at any competitors. So before you begin, definitely try and find some big brands that are already creating content that's performing really well and copy them, right? Like if you have a watch store and you're getting your branding absolutely on point, it may help you to look at what Movement Watches is doing, and you see all the content that's being produced. It's like guys going out, living their life, kind of adventuring and showing off the watch, very artsy pictures, girls as well. It just gives off a certain lifestyle vibe, and people could really resonate with that. Now, of course, you may not be able to take pictures like, I don't know, where is this? Is that a Stingray? I don't even know, but you could still use this as inspiration and maybe scale it back to something that's achievable by just a single person to really just lay out your content. Backpacks.com, if you're selling some kind of backpack or something, you just see it's people out living their life using the backpack. People respond well to it. Now, they do have a smaller following because, like, who wants to follow just a backpack account, right? But they're definitely one of the better ones that I've seen that's in this kind of niche. That's why I'm showing it. Lulu Gem, they do this well. They give some really nice shots of the products being worn, and then they go ahead and they actually have some of these cutesy things, which I'll talk about in a little bit, just very nicely laid out for what they're selling and the audience that they're appealing to. And Alex and Ani is the exact same way. It's just really, really nicely laid out. And so if you're selling something that's like kind of jewelry related, these could potentially be something you look at, but just look around, see what works. You don't have to start from scratch. Okay, now number 3, you're gonna want to establish an aesthetic and stick to it from the very, very beginning. Generally, when people start, they start kind of crappy and then build up. And this works for YouTube too, and this is something that I've definitely realized in my YouTube game and in my e-commerce game. You always want to start the best that you can possibly be, because it's just exponentially going to help your growth. When people see your account and it's tiny, but you have amazing content, they're going to still want to follow you. But if you have a tiny account and your content's subpar, they're really not going to be that interested, right? The social proof isn't there, you don't have any good content to follow. Why would they follow you? So start off knowing what you're going to post and start off posting phenomenal things. So it really helps. Number 3 is basically saying do the first 2 things and just get a really good feel for the type of content that you're actually going to make and post, and in what order you're going to do it. And yeah, just have a really solid business plan so you're not going blind and every single day you're trying to figure out what you're going to post next. It's very, very important to plan this stuff out. Okay, now number 4 is content, and this is going to be the one I spend a lot of time on. So the content is definitely what is going to help grow your account. If you don't have good content, nobody's going to want to follow you. So how exactly do you make good content? Well, there's several ways that you can do this, okay? Alex and Ani and Lulu Gem actually do the strategy that I use, and it works really well for me. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. You may have to try some of these different strategies, but I really like what they do. So basically, what their strategy is they mix up a mixture of product pictures and pictures that fit the aesthetic but aren't trying to sell anything. Okay, and let me show you what I mean by that. So Alex and Ani does this ridiculously well. I love what they're doing. So as you can see, they have just a picture of a bracelet right here, a picture of, let me go over here, a picture of another bracelet, and this is like a little necklace they've got going on. If it wants to click. We've got these like things over here, but then every once in a while they have posts that are just like this, right? Or they have posts that are like this. If it wants to pull up, good lord, like this, or something like this, right? Where it's just like a person or a picture of flowers. It really, and right here too, and even here, they were on a roll with doing this. It establishes an aesthetic, and the benefit to having this is that it doesn't just look like you're just trying to sell your products. It looks like you're more selling a lifestyle, which is something I promote pretty much in every video. If you want to get a very solid brand, you need to promote a lifestyle, because people are half buying into the product and half buying into the lifestyle lifestyle that you're promoting. And they do this ridiculously well because they have like this peaceful, enjoy life, you know, love everything kind of aesthetic that they're giving off. So when people see that and they see the mixture of their products that give off that vibe and just these random like feel good posts like these, people are like, oh, that's awesome, I love what this brand stands for, I'm gonna go ahead and buy into that. Lulu Gem also does that. Like they have these super basic hipster ass like coffee, just let me shop and no one gets hurt, April, stuff like that, right? It's just very, it's basic, right? But it fits the aesthetic beautifully. And if you could just scroll through, really none of these pictures look out of place. Even the ones that are like very different, like this neon sign, right? If you just post that on any single feed, it's not gonna look that good. But they've planned it out and they have this very nicely set up to where you're scrolling through and that just fits in there very well, and it fits all these other quote things that they have, like Monday, nothing a bit of shopping can't fix, which is kind of gross, but it works, and they do that phenomenally. Now, that's the mixture. I like to call that the mixture feed, and basically the percentage that I like to use is I do about 4/5 I do kind of fun content, and then 1/5 I do actual products. Now I post twice a day, and people really respond well to my fun pictures. They get more likes than my product pictures, so I do those a little bit more. So what I do is about 2/5 of my pictures I do a very niche specific picture. Like if you saw it, you would know why I post them, right? 2/5 is that. The other 2/5 I do kind of quotes like these, pretty much exactly like these on my page, okay? And then 1/5 I do actually very nicely stylized pictures of the products, very similar to like what Lulu Gem and Alex and Ani do. Either just the product kind of like positioned in a beautiful way, or being worn by people, like coming up here, like right here, or this one right here. Just the way that they're presented is very nice, and it doesn't just look like it is a picture of a bracelet on like a white background, right? It's stylized, it fits the whole theme, it's incredible. Now, there's another way that you can do things, and Backpacks.com and Movement Watches does this as well. Now, Movement doesn't do it as much as Backpacks, but basically, every single picture, if you're using this strategy, every single picture has your product in it. However, you're never like directly promoting the backpack. Now this one has a few of them, but basically what Backpacks.com does right here is pretty much every single picture is someone using like a different backpack in a different way. So it's showing all the different uses for the products that you have, so people are bound to relate to some of them. And now when you're doing this, it can be very easy to look like you're just trying to promote your product, and it just looks very markety and not that nice at all. Backpacks.com does it really well because these look like pictures that someone would post on their actual Instagram feed, right? Not trying to promote the backpack, but they have a nice focus on it, and it just, I don't know, it's very nice. They have actual pictures of like different people, not just pictures taken by the company itself. So it's a nice little collective of a bunch of different people and a bunch of different content, and it just looks very nice. So it gives a whole general feel behind everything, like, hey, our backpacks or our brand really promotes getting out there, getting active, and having a cool backpack to go along with that, right? Movement Watches does something very similar. I like it a little bit better because their kind of aesthetic is a little bit more defined in their marketing. They definitely have more of the adventure-y vibe, and they give that off with all of their pictures. Even like the kind of tamer ones, I'd say. This guy's at like a festival wearing a watch. These guys are on a helipad wearing a watch and holding a falcon. This one's like one of the Chinese lanterns. It's such a diverse collection of content, but it just once again contributes to the aesthetic behind the brand. And that's the huge thing you really want to make sure that you have down in your social media feed, is that you really want to promote that aesthetic that you determined in step 1 or 2, whatever step that was. But if you just scroll through, they're ridiculously consistent in their content. They all match that. They give off the go out there, do something lifestyle vibe, very inspiring for people, and can really push people to buy because they want to get in on this awesome lifestyle, right? Like, damn, I'm a pretty experienced marketer, but even this is like, damn, I kind of want to buy one of these watches, right? That's how well it works. So that is just, these are some examples of some ridiculously good feeds and how they actually get their content. Now, when you are getting this content, you can either get it from other pages and just make sure you credit them, or you can actually take it yourself, which I would highly recommend you order your products and you take the pictures yourself. Now, yes, it is a lot of work. However, if you want to grow a legitimate company, that's what you have to do, right? Movement Watches started off as a drop shipping brand, but they did their branding so damn well that they were able to scale this into a business that did $60 million in 2017. So that it just shows that if you actually put in the effort, it can put you leaps and bounds above everybody else that's selling very similar products, because like they're selling watches, but the lifestyle that they give off behind everything just pushes them way above everybody else. Okay, and then number 5 is scaling and growth. And this is something that a lot of people have a little bit of difficulty with, and I get a lot of questions about. But honestly, guys, you're going to scale and you're going to grow by simply consistently posting good content. If you post good content, people will eventually follow you. Now, there are a few ways that you can boost this. First of all, you can use like a follow liker software. I actually use one of these. It does get me some pretty good organic followers. However, you obviously can't depend on this entirely to grow, but it is a nice little supplement and I don't really see any problems with it. It could be better, but it does get me more followers that I would have gotten otherwise, so that's something you could potentially want to look into. Now, the biggest way to grow, and the absolute best way, and you're going to get ridiculous organic growth this way, is by simply having promotions on other pages. Now, one thing that I really think is super interesting is that, and I want to do more experiments with this, is that you can actually just promote your page, but not a particular product on another page, right? So let me give an example. Like Lulu Gem, right? Say they were posting a bit more of, okay, let me go Alex and Ani. They have better non-product content. If you just have stuff like this, right, and you post a lot of these types of pictures, what you can go ahead and do is find bigger accounts that give shoutouts. Like this is like the Egyptian Eye. If there's just kind of like, I don't know, let's just say this fits into the meditation niche, right? So you go to a meditation page and you just have a shout out for your actual page, not a product. So people see that you post like 4/5 of your content is like this, they'll go ahead and follow you for this type of content, right? And they're not going to be like, oh, I'm being sold to. They're going to be like, oh, this company actually posts really interesting pictures that's related to my niche. Let me go ahead and follow them. Then now you have organic followers, and as you post those 1/5 product pictures, people are going to see that and they'll be a lot more willing to buy instead of just being sold to directly through an influencer post. And I think this is an amazing strategy. Not a lot of people use this, but it's ridiculously good for growth, and I've gained several hundred followers on some of my Instagram shoutouts by simply having a post similar to this, where it's not directly promoting a product. People just want to go on the page and look at the other pictures you post, and then from there they buy your product. So that is I'd actually recommend that above just a normal influencer post, just because of the fact that when you get these followers, they're going to be long term and you could potentially sell more to them over time than the very short-lived influencer post. And generally, if you just want like a page shout out, I found people are more receptive to being cheaper on that, right? Because once again, it fits more into the aesthetic of the influencers. So I don't know, but it's like less likely to screw up their feed, so they're more open to it. There's a few reasons for it, but I just think it's the coolest strategy, and I highly recommend that a lot more people do it, just because organic growth and having this organic reach is ridiculously valuable. So guys, those are the 5 main steps if you want to grow your Instagram account or you want to start establishing some amazing content on it. Yes, it's going to take a long time, and yes, it is not, you're not going to see immediate payoff, right? But it's the long-term payoff that we're absolutely going for, because making money online is not a get-rich-quick scheme, right? You're not going to do it. If you try and get rich quick, you're going to fail. You're going to see a lot of failure, and you're going to be very discouraged. But if you can do things amazingly, look at Movement Watches. They're an exact perfect example of this. of how they just came from selling normal watches and then formed an entire brand and aesthetic behind everything, and boom, became one of the leading, they're just easily one of the best companies I've seen come up in recent years that are selling a product like this. They do things amazingly well, and if you can do something even like a percentage, even a tiny bit like them, you will see great results, I promise you. So if you want to learn how to make a profitable online business, I have a link to my course down in the description below. I also have a link to a free 14-day Shopify trial down there if you want to go ahead and get things started. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed what I said and how I said it. Check out those videos over there if you want more ideas for what to watch, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.